Amidst the dust and steel, a desperate charge tore through Saladin's mighty army, turning tide and history. Afflicted by disease, a young king defied his own body, wielding courage as his most potent weapon. Thousands scattered before a handful. The great Saladin himself barely escaped the crushing, unexpected fury. How could a mere 500 knights, led by a crippled king, crush 26,000 inches a single day? The odds were beyond staggering. A tiny, desperate Christian force stood against an unstoppable Islamic tide. This is the story of King Baldwin IV, Jerusalem's young ruler, fighting not just enemies, but his own ravaged body. Leprosy was slowly consuming him, yet his will to defend the Holy Land burned with unyielding intensity. Against him marched Saladin, the undisputed Sultan, commanding an army that seemed limitless in its numbers. Saladin's name struck terror across the Levant. His strategic brilliance and might were legendary, unmatched. His goal was clear: dismantle the Crusader states, reclaiming Jerusalem for the Islamic world. The Crusader kingdoms, fragmented and vulnerable, faced an existential threat unlike any before. The king, often in pain, frequently exhausted, shouldered the weight of his entire crumbling kingdom. His mind, however, remained sharp, his spirit unbroken. He sought a miracle where none seemed possible. His entire available force numbered barely 500, heavily armored, devoted, but desperate knights. Against this small band stood Saladin's massive war machine, 26,000 strong, ready to devour them. November 25th, 1177, a day destined for infamy or legend. The stage was set. Logic dictates utter defeat. Yet, history records one of the most improbable victories ever witnessed. Was it divine intervention, or an unprecedented display of tactical genius and sheer, desperate courage? This is the epic struggle of Montgisard, a battle that defies all conventional military understanding. We will delve into how a crippled king orchestrated an improbable victory against impossible odds. Explore the why, the geopolitics, the personalities, and the desperate circumstances that led to this clash. Uncover the how, the strategy, the timing, and the sheer audacity that crushed Saladin's mighty army. The late 12th century, Levant, a mosaic of cultures, ancient lands, and a simmering cauldron of conflict. This narrow strip of land, the Holy Land, was the crucial crossroads of an entire medieval world. For centuries, empires had fought over its sacred soil, making it a truly volatile geopolitical stage. Far from this chaos, a new force was rising: Salah ad-Din Yusuf ibn Ayyub, known as Saladin. Born into a Kurdish family, he honed his intellect and martial skills under Nur ad-Din's tutelage. Saladin quickly consolidated power in Egypt, becoming its vizier and master, a critical first step. He reformed the army and administration, transforming Egypt into a formidable power base for his ambitions. But Saladin harbored a grander vision: to unite all Islamic lands under a single powerful banner. Fueled by a deep religious conviction, he believed it was his destiny to reclaim Jerusalem. Beyond faith, a shrewd political mind saw the strategic necessity of a unified Islamic front. Saladin was not merely a warrior, he was a master strategist, unrivaled in his time. His diplomatic brilliance allowed him to forge alliances, turning former rivals into allies. From Egypt, Saladin launched his relentless campaign, an unstoppable tide against the Crusader states. Damascus fell quickly, adding Syria's heart to his growing empire. His power expanded rapidly. City by city, fortress by fortress, Saladin brought vast territories of Syria under his command. Even distant Mesopotamia felt his influence, further consolidating his dominion across the east. Across the Muslim world, Saladin's call for jihad against the Franks resonated deeply. He was forging a singular, formidable Muslim force, driven by a common purpose and leadership. Meanwhile, the Latin kingdoms, isolated outposts in a hostile land, faced this rising tide. The Kingdom of Jerusalem, once mighty, now a beacon of dwindling power and internal strife. To the north, the Principality of Antioch clung precariously to its strategic coastal territories. And the County of Tripoli, a narrow strip of land, struggled to maintain its independence. These Crusader states were fragile enclaves, constantly vulnerable, surrounded by Saladin's growing might. Instead of unity, the Frankish lords were consumed by bitter rivalries and political infighting. Personal ambitions and land disputes often overshadowed their collective defense, leading to betrayals. Europe was far away. The Crusader states increasingly stood alone, with dwindling hope of reinforcements. Saladin's shadow loomed ever larger, an existential threat to their very existence in the Levant. Frequent border skirmishes escalated, each raid fueling the flames of an inevitable confrontation. Truces were made only to be broken, the fragile peace shattering under the weight of escalating tension. The Holy Land held its breath. The stage was set for a monumental clash that would redefine history. Jerusalem, 12th century, a beacon of faith, yet a prize contested by empires, always on the edge of war. At its heart stood a king unlike any other, Baldwin IV, destined to rule a kingdom hanging by a thread. His mandate was simple: protect the fragile Crusader states, a Christian outpost in a hostile world. But beneath the golden crown, a shadow grew. A devastating illness began its slow, cruel advance. Leprosy, a medieval death sentence, creeping into the veins of a young prince, barely a boy. It was an affliction that would strip him of his senses, his strength, and ultimately, his life. The diagnosis was a profound shock, casting a long, dark pall over the future of the kingdom. At just 13, Baldwin was crowned king, inheriting a realm besieged by external Islamic forces. He faced the daunting task of leadership, navigating the treacherous waters of medieval politics and war. This boy king, afflicted and vulnerable, had to prove his legitimacy to a skeptical nobility. His early reign was marked by skirmishes, testing his mettle against the mighty armies of Saladin. Despite the relentless march of his disease, Baldwin possessed an unbreakable, fiery spirit. His body betrayed him, but his mind remained sharp, his will unyielding in the face of suffering. He refused to surrender to the disease's grip, transforming his suffering into an unyielding resolve. Every painful breath was dedicated to his kingdom, his people, and the defense of the Holy Land. The pressure mounted relentlessly from Saladin, who saw an opportunity in the young, ailing king. He understood the existential threat. His kingdom was isolated, outnumbered, and constantly under siege. His duty was clear: safeguard every stone, every life, against the overwhelming tides of war. He would not merely exist, he would fight, inspiring loyalty through sheer, unwavering force of will. Amidst this turmoil, figures like Reynald of Châtillon emerged. Formidable, yet often fiercely independent. Reynald, Prince of Ultra-Jourdain, was a formidable warrior, known for his audacious and provocative actions. His daring raids on Muslim territories often brought vital resources, but also dangerous retaliation. Such figures, while powerful allies, also presented challenges to Baldwin's central authority and diplomatic efforts. The Crusader nobility itself was a viper's nest of ambition, rivalry, and competing allegiances. Internal power struggles frequently undermined unity, making a common front against Saladin difficult. Knights Templar, Hospitallers, powerful barons, each vied for influence, often against the crown's wishes. Baldwin, the Leper King, had to contend not only with Saladin, but also the fractious nature of his own lords. The kingdom stood on the precipice, a precarious bastion surrounded by an increasingly powerful enemy. The kingdom teetered, beset by both external threats and the bitter, fracturing rivalries within its own walls. Yet, against this backdrop of certain doom, a monarch defied destiny, ready to fight for his legacy. In 1177, Saladin, Sultan of Egypt and Syria, unleashed his colossal army upon the unsuspecting kingdom of Jerusalem. He commanded an empire, a united Muslim force. His ambition: crush the Crusader states forever. Saladin's primary objective was clear: the strategic coastal city of Ascalon, a key Crusader stronghold. Ascalon, a vital port and fortress, stood as a gateway. Its fall would open the Crusader kingdom. Reports trickled in, then a deluge. A force unlike any seen before was heading directly for them. Across the Crusader castles, a terrible realization set in. They were outnumbered, perhaps hopelessly so. Panic spread like wildfire among the populace. Saladin's reputation for relentless conquest preceded him. King Baldwin IV, the Leper King, barely 16, faced an existential crisis for his entire kingdom. Saladin's strategic movements were precise. His vast army advanced, confident of an easy victory against the fragmented Franks. Tens of thousands of seasoned warriors, drawn from across his burgeoning empire, converged upon the vulnerable Crusader lands. Saladin did not bother with minor strongholds. His focus remained fixed on Ascalon and the complete annihilation of Crusader power. This was not a raid, it was an invasion of unprecedented scale. The land groaned under the weight of his forces. As Saladin's army swept through the countryside, a trail of devastation and terror was left in its wake. Homes were torched, fields laid waste, thousands of innocent civilians fled, seeking refuge behind Crusader walls. Small Crusader garrisons could only watch helplessly. Resistance seemed futile against such an overwhelming tide of destruction. With each new report, the gravity of the situation deepened. The future of the entire Crusader kingdom hung by a thread. Yet, in the face of absolute despair, King Baldwin IV refused to surrender. He would fight. His call to arms went out, a desperate summons for every available knight, every man who could wield a sword. The Crusader forces that assembled were pitifully small, a mere fraction of Saladin's might. King Baldwin IV, despite his personal afflictions, would lead them himself into the jaws of overwhelming danger. Saladin, confident of his numbers, believed he had trapped Baldwin within Jerusalem. Ascalon seemed his for the taking. The defenders of Ascalon braced for the inevitable, their hopes dwindling with each passing hour. The Ayyubid Sultan was utterly convinced of victory. His enemy was seemingly paralyzed, cornered, and broken. Unknown to Saladin, a daring plan was unfolding. Baldwin's tiny force was not trapped, they were on the move. This was no ordinary march. It was an arduous, forced journey across the barren terrain, fueled by desperation. Every step was a testament to their unwavering loyalty and the king's audacious, perhaps suicidal, strategy. To avoid detection, they marched mostly at night, cloaked in darkness, a silent, relentless advance. Every detour, every hidden path was meticulously planned to remain undetected by Saladin's vast network of scouts. Saladin, believing the threat neutralized, had allowed his army to spread out, engaging in plunder and reconnaissance. Baldwin's objective was not Ascalon, but rather to intercept Saladin's main force while it was least prepared. The entire plan hinged on one crucial element: surprise. It was their only chance against overwhelming odds. Saladin's vanguard, confident and unopposed, advanced carelessly, raiding and pillaging as they went. Crusader scouts, masters of stealth, diligently tracked Saladin's every move, relaying vital information to Baldwin. The toll of the relentless march was immense. Exhaustion gnawed at their resolve, but duty drove them onward. Their destination, the open plains near Ramla, a place where a small, disciplined force might stand a chance. Meanwhile, Saladin's army, basking in the glow of easy conquest, was growing complacent, overconfident in their numbers. As dawn approached, Baldwin's small, weary army neared their target, poised on the edge of a desperate gamble. Saladin's camp was a city unto itself, sprawling across the landscape, teeming with thousands of warriors. With the objective in sight, Baldwin made final preparations. Morale was high, fueled by faith and defiance. The contrast could not be starker: a tiny, resolute band against a sprawling, seemingly invincible empire. Saladin's extensive network of scouts, complacent in their perceived security, failed to detect the approaching danger. They moved into position, a disciplined spearhead, ready to strike at the unsuspecting heart of Saladin's domain. A hush fell over the Crusader lines. The silence before the storm, before the clash that would defy all odds. The stage was set. Baldwin's gamble, born of desperation, was about to shatter Saladin's overwhelming confidence. Saladin, triumphant and seemingly unstoppable, believed his victory over the Franks was now all but assured. His forces, overwhelming in number, had swept through the land, conquering castle after castle, effortlessly. Overconfidence now blinded the Sultan. He allowed his eager warriors to fan out, seeking plunder. Believing the Franks broken, Saladin saw no immediate threat, granting his men leave to pillage freely. This critical decision left his main host dangerously exposed, its strength diluted by the spoils. The disciplined might of the Ayyubid army, usually unwavering, was now carelessly spread thin. Security eased, vigilance waned, a fatal complacency settled over the Sultan's unsuspecting legions. But King Baldwin IV, the Leper King, was far from broken. He harbored a desperate, audacious plan. Despite his crippling illness, Baldwin's spirit remained indomitable, forged in the crucible of faith. His outnumbered, weary knights were prepared for a final, glorious stand against overwhelming odds. Baldwin's forces executed a rapid, forced march, relying on stealth to surprise their formidable enemy. Through treacherous terrain and relentless exhaustion, the Crusaders pressed on, unseen by Saladin. Then, from the heights, they spotted Saladin's vast army, heedless in its perceived security. The sight was daunting, but Baldwin knew this was their moment. Surprise was their only weapon. Montgisard, a seemingly unremarkable place, was about to become the site of an epic clash. Before battle, the holiest relic of Christendom, a fragment of the true cross, was brought forth. It symbolized divine protection, an unwavering beacon of hope for the beleaguered Franks. King Baldwin, despite his agonizing disease, knelt, praying fiercely for God's divine intervention. Each knight drew strength from its presence, their faith rekindled, ready for martyrdom or victory. This sacred banner would lead them, a visible testament to their righteous and holy cause. As the mist lifted, a terrifying apparition emerged. Baldwin's knights, poised and ready. The element of surprise was complete. Saladin's dispersed army was utterly unprepared for this. With a thunderous roar, the Frankish charge began, a disciplined wave of steel and fury. Their heavy cavalry, an elite force, gained momentum, shaking the very earth beneath them. The ground vibrated with the fury of their advance, a sound heralding imminent, brutal destruction. Within Saladin's camp, complacency reigned. Many soldiers were away, others relaxed. Then, a cry. A sudden, piercing shriek of alarm shattered the morning's false tranquility. The Crusaders struck like a bolt from the blue, an unstoppable hammer blow, catching them entirely off guard. Tents ripped. Men screamed as the armored juggernaut tore through the heart of the unsuspecting camp. Shock and disarray immediately paralyzed the Mamluk and Bedouin warriors, unprepared for this fury. They struggled to form lines, their speed and agility rendered useless by the sudden, crushing impact. Saladin watched in stunned disbelief as his carefully cultivated victory dissolved into utter chaos. The disciplined Crusader formation, a spearhead of steel, drove deep into Saladin's reeling army. With every swing, every thrust, Baldwin's desperate gamble paid off, turning the tide. Panic spread like wildfire. Soldiers broke formation, their morale shattered by this brutal surprise. The true cross, an emblem of divine wrath, continued to lead the terrifying and relentless assault. Saladin's standard faltered, then fell, a symbol of his power momentarily extinguished in the dust. What began as a day of plundering for Saladin's men swiftly became a nightmare of utter rout. Baldwin, the Leper King, against all odds, had pulled off a truly impossible, miraculous victory. Saladin's attempts to rally his scattered forces proved futile against the Crusaders' relentless drive. By day's end, the desert sands of Montgisard were stained with the blood of Saladin's shattered army. The dream of swift conquest for the Sultan had been violently, abruptly, and utterly crushed. Baldwin's gambles, fueled by faith and courage, delivered a victory for Christendom that day. The miraculous counterattack at Montgisard became an enduring legend, a testament to raw, defiant courage. The Leper King, a spectral figure, defied death and doubt, his spirit ablaze, his very presence a beacon. Against overwhelming odds, the Crusader knights unleashed their fury. A thunderous charge began, unstoppable. With relentless momentum, the heavy cavalry thundered forward, each knight a weapon, driven by faith and vengeance. The Frankish charge smashed into Saladin's elite Mamluks, a collision of titans, a brutal shockwave. Saladin's vanguard, confident moments before, now faced an unexpected, terrifying onslaught. Chaos descended swiftly. The disciplined wedge formation tore through the Mamluk ranks. Their impenetrable wall began to crumble. Swords clashed, screams filled the air, close-quarters combat erupted, a desperate struggle for survival. Every man fought for his life, for his faith. Steel met steel in a dance of death. The battlefield became a churning maelstrom of mud, blood, and shattered resolve. No quarter given. Panic began to ripple through the Ayyubid forces. What started as a breach became a widespread rout. Standards fell, commanders shouted futile orders. The elite Mamluks, once unyielding, now broke formation. Saladin watched in disbelief. His invincible army, now a fractured, fleeing mass. A nightmare unfolding. The retreat turned into a desperate flight. Thousands of warriors, now individual targets, running for their lives. The Crusader knights pressed their advantage, a relentless tide of vengeance. No time for mercy. The pursuit was merciless, a brutal harvest. The sheer speed of the cavalry turned retreat into slaughter. Though weary, the Franks were driven by a singular purpose: to utterly destroy Saladin's formidable army. Across the desert sands, the chase continued. The once proud Ayyubids scattered, becoming easy prey. Amidst the chaos, Saladin's loyal bodyguards fought desperately. Their mission: ensure the Sultan's survival. With a heavy heart, Saladin turned his back on the carnage. His greatest army lay shattered. The Sultan, a master strategist, now faced the ultimate humiliation: a hasty, desperate retreat. Through a hail of arrows and the thunder of hooves, Saladin's escape was a frantic scramble. Death brushed against him, a constant companion. The Leper King's men thirsted for his capture. With a mere fragment of his personal guard, Saladin vanished into the desert. He had escaped. The prize, Saladin himself, eluded their grasp. Yet, the work of destruction was far from over. The battlefield was a testament to the Franks' ferocity. Thousands lay dead or gravely wounded. Weapons of the mighty Ayyubid Empire, now discarded and broken. Symbols of a crushing defeat. The pursuit continued for miles, a relentless cleansing. Few Ayyubid warriors would see another day. Saladin's camp, once brimming with life, now burned fiercely. A final, devastating blow. Weary but triumphant, the Frankish knights had achieved the impossible, a victory born of desperation. The Leper King surveyed the carnage. His gamble, his faith, had delivered an astounding triumph. Montgisard's sands drank deep that day, a testament to the power of a desperate, united charge. Against all odds, the cross had prevailed over the crescent, a beacon of hope for Outremer. The Frankish army, small in number, stood tall, their courage rewritten the destiny of the Holy Land. The human cost was high, but the victory's magnitude eclipsed all suffering. They had persevered. Young and old, noble and commoner, they had fought as one, their names etched in history. Far from the battlefield, Saladin pondered his catastrophic loss, a lesson learned in bitter defeat. An army of 26,000, shattered by 500 desperate knights. The statistics told a grim story. Though defeated, Saladin was not broken. His resolve hardened, a fire for future vengeance ignited. For now, Montgisard belonged to the Franks, a temporary reprieve, a monumental psychological blow. As night fell, the silence was deafening, a grim monument to the day's brutal encounter. They had faced annihilation and emerged triumphant. the impossible had become a glorious reality. The Leper King's standard, a symbol of defiance, fluttered proudly, a legendary victory secured. Baldwin IV, the Leper King, had led his kingdom to its greatest victory, a legend forged. The Battle of Montgisard, a day when courage and desperation rewrote the annals of medieval warfare. The desert after Montgisard was a testament to total defeat. Saladin's once mighty army lay scattered and broken. Thousands of Saladin's warriors were gone, either slain or captured. The retreat was a chaotic, humiliating exodus. The staggering losses were beyond anything Saladin had ever endured. It was a catastrophic blow to his military might. The human cost was immense, a blood price paid in the sands. Saladin's formidable forces were decimated. For Saladin, the defeat was not merely strategic, it was a deeply personal humiliation, shattering his aura. His prestige, carefully cultivated over years, was now severely dented. The Sultan was humbled, his confidence shaken. The long journey back to Cairo was a testament to his crushing defeat, a bitter taste of unprecedented failure. News of Montgisard reverberated across the Muslim world. The invincible Sultan had been decisively beaten. For the Kingdom of Jerusalem, Montgisard was a miraculous reprieve, a sudden lifting of the shadow of conquest. The city breathed again, temporarily safe from Saladin's grip. The kingdom had been saved, against all odds. The Leper King, Baldwin IV, returned as a savior. His audacity and leadership had defied all expectations. This victory cemented Baldwin IV's legendary status, transforming him into an almost mythical figure of defiance. He became the symbol of Christian resistance, a beacon of hope against overwhelming odds, inspiring his loyal subjects. Montgisard rallied Christian forces across the Levant, uniting disparate factions under a banner of renewed hope. The victory instilled fresh courage, inspiring a temporary surge of confidence and resolve within the Crusader states. The kingdom gained crucial time, a pause from the relentless pressure of Saladin's campaigns, a precious reprieve. But this reprieve was fragile, a temporary calm before the inevitable storm. The threat still lingered. Though humbled, Saladin was not broken. The defeat fueled his determination, forging a new, relentless resolve. He would return, stronger and more cunning. Montgisard was a painful lesson, not a final verdict on his destiny. The shadow of future conflict remained, an ever-present spectre over the fragile peace earned at Montgisard. This epic battle solidified a legendary king's legacy while reshaping the immediate future of the Crusader states. Baldwin IV's greatest moment, but time was against him. The future held challenges even this king could not defy. Montgisard was a moment of glory, a temporary shield against annihilation. Yet the wider war was far from over. The sands of Montgisard drank deep, witnessing a monumental victory. Yet the echoes of triumph were deceptive. Baldwin's stunning victory did not, however, decisively end the greater conflict with Saladin's formidable empire. It was a monumental achievement, a testament to Frankish courage, but the war for the Holy Land raged on. Montgisard granted the fragile Crusader kingdom a vital, if temporary, period of respite and security. This hard-won victory bought precious years, a chance for the Franks to consolidate and regroup once more. These years were crucial for survival, allowing reinforcement and preparation for the inevitable next confrontation. But for Saladin, Montgisard was not a defeat to be forgotten. It was a profound, festering wound. The humiliation of his vast army's rout only intensified his unyielding resolve for vengeance and retribution. Montgisard galvanized Saladin, hardening his resolve to unite Islam and reclaim Jerusalem at any cost. He would meticulously rebuild his forces, learning from his tactical errors, forging an even mightier host. The battle's aftermath was a deceptive calm, merely the prelude to a far greater, more devastating storm. Montgisard, a singular triumph, became a critical, yet ultimately fleeting, waypoint in the broader Crusades narrative. It stood as a stark demonstration of Frankish military prowess, their discipline, and their formidable, heavy cavalry. The sheer audacity and tactical brilliance of Baldwin's small army earned them respect, even from their enemies. This battle proved that even against overwhelming odds, a well-led, determined Crusader force could prevail. Yet, beneath this facade of external strength, internal weaknesses continued to plague the Crusader states. Factionalism, rivalries, and a lack of unified leadership undermined their long-term strategic viability. The kingdoms remained a collection of disparate entities, often prioritizing individual gain over collective survival. These deep-seated divisions would prove far more corrosive than any external enemy's might. Montgisard's glory was a temporary salve, unable to heal the profound internal wounds of the Crusader realm. Ultimately, these critical weaknesses, coupled with Saladin's relentless resurgence, would seal Jerusalem's fate. The triumph at Montgisard merely delayed the inevitable, the holy city's eventual, tragic fall. A monumental victory, yes, but one that could not avert the ultimate historical tide of the Crusades. Montgisard, a name etched in history as one of the most improbable victories ever conceived on any battlefield. King Baldwin IV, with a mere 500 knights, faced Saladin's overwhelming army of 26,000 warriors. This was no ordinary battle. It was a stunning testament to courage, belief, and strategic audacity. The Leper King, frail in body, possessed an iron will that inspired his men to impossible feats. Despite his debilitating disease, Baldwin's strategic genius outmaneuvered one of history's greatest commanders. His presence, riding at the vanguard, electrified his small force, turning desperate hope into glorious victory. Baldwin's leadership transcended his physical suffering, forging an enduring legend of defiant, unwavering courage. The spirit of the Crusader knights, outnumbered and vulnerable, refused to yield to overwhelming odds. Their unwavering resolve, born from faith and desperation, propelled them to defy all military logic. This battle embodies the enduring human spirit, the capacity to fight on, even when all hope seems lost. Montgisard remains a beacon of courage, proving that true leadership and audacious strategy can conquer any force. It's a powerful reminder that numerical superiority often bows before brilliant planning and unbreakable spirit. If you found this epic analysis compelling, hit that like button, subscribe for more history, and share. Tell us in the comments which other legendary conflicts a leading analysis channel should dissect next.